Hello everyone, welcome to another video of React.js 19 tutorial series. And in this video, we are going to understand one of the most important concept, which is props in React. So before we jump into the code, let's understand the theory first. So in React, props or properties allow us to pass data from one component to another, usually from parent to child. Think of props like argument you pass to a function where a component receives props and uses them to display dynamic data. So this is the example from our previous videos where if I type anything to these input fields, it is getting printed in a paragraph tag just below the input elements, and that paragraph tag can be used to display informations or warnings about the form. So if I go to the code, we can see here the paragraph tag with post title and the post content. We might want to move this particular piece of code into a separate React component so that it can be reused across other React component as well. So I want to create another React component called warning, and we'll put the JSX into this. Let me use RFC to create skeleton for a functional component, and here it returns a div with just a dummy text that is warning. Now if I want to call this particular component from the parent component, that is the create post component, so I have to add few lines just below the br tag. And to call a React component, we have to use the component name just like this, and before using, make sure it is imported properly. I'm going to comment out the old code, but if we go to the UI, we can see that static warning text is visible. This is because we are not using any dynamic script inside the warning component. So the next task which we have is how to pass props to the warning component and how to utilize the props inside the warning component. So let me go to the parent component and I have to give the props name equals to props value. So this is how we pass props to a React component. The value will be post title. Another prop we need for post content. So I will give it a name and the value. And these post title and the post content we can access inside the warning component using the props argument. So this is the optional argument which can be used in any React component. And now we can use the props object to use the property which we had passed. So we can use something like this, then props dot the name we had given while calling the warning component like this. So similarly, I have to use it for another input element for content. I'm going to copy paste and going to change the name like this, but we can see the error and we are already familiar with this error. This is because of the React fragments, because the React component can return a single fragment, so we have to wrap the entire JSX inside the fragment like this, and the error should go away. Here we go. We can see the UI is working as expected, and if we type something, it is getting reflected properly. So today we saw how to use props, how to make a component dynamic. So this particular warning component can print title and content based on the props which is getting passed to it. So this is all about this particular video. I hope it was helpful. Take care and I will see you in the next one.